I'm Dawn Hastings and I'm a mental health specialist that works on the EquiSolutions therapeutic team. My background is that I'm a BACP accredited counsellor psychotherapist, and I've been working for 12-13 years in counselling psychotherapy. I came into working with EquiSolutions because I've also had a lifelong relationship with horses from the age of about 5, and I've really long wanted to sort of put both my passions together. That's horses and working in therapy, and this is a fantastic opportunity to do that. Here at EquiSolutions we actually provide a really unique intervention that's not actually available anywhere else in Cornwall at the moment. All the professionals working on the programme are qualified and experienced professionals in their own area, as I am, and on the horse side, on the equine specialist side, we have John and Rosie and Julia, who have many years of experience working with horses. So that's a therapeutic team, but we need to stress that we're all professionals in our own right. And what we do here is provide a safe environment in which people can, with the safe environment which supports growth, supports personal growth and learning, supports relationships, building of communication and coping strategies. And those things occur in the unique relationships that our clients build with horses, because we really believe that in building relationships with the horse, individuals become to know themselves much better. This sort of activity we set up for a number of reasons. For example, it encourages the clients to work together, see how they're communicating together. Also, it helps us understand how far they listen to and interpret rules. So, for example, the rule was only hold the rope at the end, whether you're on a short or long rope. These two are actually sticking within that rule, but some clients don't. And then afterwards we can process. And what we'll do with this, if this was a real session, we would be asking them in a second to swap over to work with the long rope and then the short rope, and then how is that for them to be, do they prefer to be closer in control or further away? There are two ways we work in the arena. One is where we set up activities which create sort of metaphorical or symbols of something in our client or our group's life. So Obstacle Alley, which is the activity that you just observed, was where we set up an obstacle and we would ask our group to decide amongst themselves what those obstacles in the alley might actually represent. We've had such things as temptation or self-will or the addictive self, or relationships which may be challenging and threatening recovery. And then by taking the horses through that activity, and you saw how the horses interact with the obstacles, we would then use that, bring that into awareness, ask and explore with the client and process, their thoughts, their feelings and their behaviour in the activity, and how the horse perhaps kicking temptation away or putting its head right into the barrel of temptation, what that actually means for them on their programme at this particular moment in time. So this is an activity we may introduce towards the end of the first or the beginning of the second session, where clients have got a little bit more confidence, they've actually sort of approached the horse. And the instruction was to use the equipment, choose a horse and take it for a walk and go round the barrels. Well, for these 3 volunteers, they're all horses, so they experienced with the equipment. But for most of our clients, they haven't had that experience. So even the challenge of choosing and fitting the equipment can be an initial challenge, and how they approach that, or how they cope with doing that, and how, if they're struggling, if they ask for help and if they don't ask for help. And we look at that, at how that might be in their lives. Do they ask for help at times, particularly on their programme when they're struggling? And then when we're processing, we're asking individuals, who took who for a walk here? Was it a relationship? Did they work in harmony? Did the horse take them? Did they take the horse? So looking at what sort of energy levels are going on, and are they holding that rope tightly? Do they have a loose contact? And then we start to process, how they might be in relationships outside of the arena and all those aspects. And I think there's a wow factor here as well. People that have never been close to a horse actually get as far as putting some equipment on and working with this powerful animal, and actually working in partnership.
Just bring your horses down here.
It can be very moving and very touching for an individual to have achieved this. Why horses? That's a big question. And of course, we're not teaching horsemanship here. The focus is not on horse skills. The focus is absolutely on human skills and the learning in the relationship with the horse. Horses are like humans. They're herd animals. They're very social. They have their own unique personalities. They can be stubborn, they can be cheeky, they can be humorous. They have their pecking order, which is ever changing, but they are social animals, and that's one of the unique sort of links that we have with working with humans. But in addition to that, they're prey animals, which basically means in the wild, if they weren't absolutely alert and responsive to feelings and to reactions to what's going on around them, they wouldn't survive. And that hypersensitivity to what's going on around them makes them absolutely perfect mirrors to human emotions, and human emotions that are real in the moment, and are so often with many people, but particularly people that have come through the programme, that they may not be aware of themselves. They may be on what we might call in therapy terms on the edge of consciousness. And by the horse's response, and by what the treatment team pick up and how we can ask and process what's going on in the here and now, allows our clients, the group, to become aware when they're ready of their felt sense and of their emotions, and be able to articulate more clearly and understand them more clearly as the programme develops.